Nobody realizes what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. They're basically just adding to this offense and defense this offseason to play straight bully ball. So, when you look at the players the Pittsburgh Steelers have added, they trade for DK Metcalf, the most physical and built wide receiver in the NFL, to go out and bully defensive backs. Then you look at the cornerback they just traded for in Jalen Ramsey. He's known as the most physical cornerback in the entire NFL, and now you bring him along, and now he could go and bully wide receivers. Those two have had many battles in the past from the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams, and when you look at them now being on the same team, along with other additions like an extra tight end so you can run 3 tight end sets to absolutely maul the other team's linebackers and defensive line, the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing one thing this offseason, and that's a bully ball. But first, before I get more into it, however, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason have made a priority to build this defense and to build the middle of this field in terms of passing game, but also running game. They're trying to get back to the roots. Running game, defense, middle of the field. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done this offseason. Because when you look at their offense first, the offense they added to this running back group and got Caleb Johnson, and obviously now they have Jalen Warren. And those are 2 physical running backs. They got rid of Najee Harris, who sometimes shy away from contact, other than when he stiff arms people. But they added to this running back group to be able to run this football. And then also, in terms of getting a tight end in Jonnu Smith, they did that so they could run more 2 tight end and 3 tight end sets and really maul people. Arthur Smith is known for running the most 3 tight end sets in the entire NFL, dating all the way back to the Tennessee Titan days. He also did some of that in the Atlanta Falcons, but he wasn't really able to do much of that with the Pittsburgh Steelers because of the talent he had at tight end. This past season, he had guys like McCollum Pruitt, they had Connor Hayward in the field, but adding Jonnu Smith to this team allows them 3 dynamic playmakers at the tight end spot and also really good run blockers in Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and now Jonnu Smith. And now they could go out and maul other team and bully other teams. When those are 6'5" to 6'7" guys on this team who could be a mismatch waiting to happen, but also when you have a really good run game as well, they have to be worried about that. So, having DK Metcalf as the lone wide receiver with those 3 tight end sets, you see how big the Steelers are trying to play. They're just bullying other teams' defense. And when you look at this defense the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to build on this team, you look at adding Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is a guy, like I said, known as one of the most physical cornerbacks over the last decade. Whenever you see the battles of him going against other teams' wide receivers, whether that was Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster a while back, or even more recently when he was going against DK Metcalf, when he was on the Rams and then DK Metcalf was on the Seattle Seahawks. Those two got in many battles and bickering back and forth because they play physical. Jalen Ramsey wants to play physical, and he wants to bully you. So Jalen Ramsey now being on this team could really help the Pittsburgh Steelers at the cornerback position lock down some wide receivers, or at least get in their head. And also, when you look at the cornerback group, that's something that the Pittsburgh Steelers have lacked for many seasons. And also adding Darius Slay to that group helps you play physical. Because when you could absolutely shut down the opposing team's wide receivers and not let them be able to just be free off the line of scrimmage, that allows the bully ball to happen. Because when they're not doing these quick throws here and there to get the ball out of their hand fast, in which they can't do anymore because you have a solid cornerback group, you have Joey Porter Jr. who can play at the press, you have Slay who likes playing at the press, Jalen Ramsey who's going to play physical. When you have those guys doing what they do, locking down wide receivers, it allows the defensive line, the outside linebackers, the edge rushers to get to the quarterback and really play bully ball on the offensive line and allow the defensive line to go against the offensive line. And it also allows the linebackers to do what they do, because then they're not having to make up for the lack of cornerback depth or talent. When you look at the safeties, it allows the safeties to be in their position and not have to go and play help coverage or have to play a two-man set where you go double team someone. When you have true reliable players on your team, you don't have to do that, and it allows other players to be free. That's why you kind of don't need Minkah Fitzpatrick anymore, because you have Jalen Ramsey. And if you could play and know your guys are reliable, you don't have to have that high safety there all the time for backup, because you trust your cornerbacks now. So that's kind of why this move happened, because you trust your defensive backs now, and you don't have to play that extra safety to go cover and hold the top. You don't have to do that. And now you have other players who can do that if they need to, but don't have to do that every single play like Minkah was doing it. You have Deshaun Elliott, who's an absolute beast, who can play in the box, go up and make plays and tackle, getting over 100 tackles last season. And then he's also a player who could get interceptions as well. You have Thornhill, who could get 3 interceptions like he was getting earlier in his career, but then also is a more physical safety and well-built safety as well. And then obviously you have Patrick Queen. You have Cole Holcomb coming back, who's physical linebackers. So this team is just physical all the way around. And then you have the drafted guys in this rookie that you just drafted on the defensive line in the first round. And Derek Harmon, a physical guy. You have Cameron Hayward still there, one of the most physical defensive linemen in the entire NFL. And then you have TJ Watt as well. You know what he could do. You have Alex Highsmith, you know what he could do. And then Nick Herbig as well. So this defense in general, they're just trying to be physical at the line of scrimmage. So then it allows this defense line to get to the quarterback. That's been the Pittsburgh Steelers' biggest thing. Stop the run the ball. And now they're doing that, but they're also building upon that and stopping the wide receivers so they could get to the quarterback. And then also throwing in the middle of the field by adding an extra tight end. So they're doing more than just running the ball and defending the run. They're building upon this, and it looks like they're playing bully ball all the way around. And that's something that no one really realizes for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have one of the highest paid defenses in the NFL for a reason. Actually, the highest paid defense. I'll get more into that in a different video, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there's a reason why they're doing that. Because they believe that is what helps you win a Super Bowl and win playoff games. And then also, they're adding to this team in terms of offense line and spending more of their money on offense line and tight ends because they believe that's what wins them as well. And they don't believe they need an extra wide receiver number 2 if you have a true 3 tight end sets and you could run the football. They believe they could do it based off of that other than just multiple wide receivers on this team. But anyway, that's how the Pittsburgh Steelers view things. That's how they're doing business. And when you look at maybe adding more players in free agency, there is still guys out there in terms of the free safety position. If you want to go get another safety because you just traded Minkah and you're worried about that. Justin Simmons, one of the best safeties in the NFL for a very long time, who's on the Denver Broncos and doing his thing there. Someone who played the Minkah role and who was linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers many times. If you really want a safety, he's still a really good one, and he's on the free agent market. So if you're worried about that, there's still other players the Pittsburgh Steelers could go out and sign in free agency. And if you're worried about wide receiver number 2 still, there's still players out there, like maybe Keenan Allen, if he decides that he actually wants to come here. Or maybe add someone else in Tyler Boyd, who has done it at a high level. Or Gabe Davis, who they brought in for a workout. There are other guys at the wide receiver position who they could go out and sign as well, if you're worried about that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers obviously seem secure in what they're trying to do. They know what they're trying to do, and if they need to make different additions, whether that's via trade or free agency, they will. This is the most aggressive the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in quite a long time. So, they're trying to do one thing, and that is bully ball. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, because that's the end of this video. What's your thoughts on how the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to play this upcoming season? And what do you think this team's trying to do? Is it trying to run the football and play defense? Or are they trying to do something else that maybe we're not seeing and I'm not seeing? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this year's Pittsburgh Steelers and what they're capable of. Are you excited for it? Do you think this was a bad move, trading Minkah for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey and adding to this team the way they did this offseason? Would you have built it a different way? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding this team. I will cover it and have covered it this offseason. And with training camp right around the corner, you get ready for a sneak preview of highlights and analysis of all the new players added to this team and them going against each other in practice. So stay tuned for that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn notifications, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Until next time, that's it for me. I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.